Hello, welcome to Bite Me Fanboy, a comics podcast. I'm Kate.
I'm Tom.
I'm Jordan.
And I'm Kirsten.
And today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We have set up a superhero draft where we will each be building a team of superheroes around a specific theme. This episode's theme is solving a mystery, so we will be building a team in the style of Scooby-Doo or the X-Files, for example, a team that can come together to effectively solve a mystery. For this draft, we have 6 subcategories, which are the lead detective, the science person, the tech expert, the paranormal expert, the sneak, and the muscle. The only rules we gave ourselves were number 1, these can only be superheroes, so no villains. And 2, the people that we pick must have some sort of superhuman ability. Finally, 3, if someone before you picks a superhero, that superhero is now off the board and can no longer be chosen by anyone else. That being said, we wanted to make this fun for everyone, so we aren't going to be sticking just to the comics medium. These picks can come from manga or webtoon or whatever you want, as long as they kind of adhere to the rules above. Beforehand, we had talked about who was going to go first, and Tom and Jordan mentioned that they had a lot of picks to choose from and had like a whole back catalog in case any of their picks were chosen. So Kirsten and I were going to go first, and I will be going first and picking mine, and then I'll bounce it over to Kirsten, and then we can go from there. For my lead detective, I want to pick Misty Knight, and Misty Knight is from Marvel, and as far as I could tell, she is a detective, so she works as a detective. She's proficient in martial arts, she has a degree in criminology, and she graduated top of her class, and I think that she would be really good at being a leader and bringing people together. What do we think about Misty?
She also, depending on the continuity, has a robot arm, so that's always useful.
That is a fantastic addition, yes.
If you've not read Daughters of the Dragon, I definitely would recommend it. It's where she and Khalid Wing team up, and I believe Misty Knight is in the original Netflix Defenders Marvel universe, and she's performed really well by there. So yeah, I'm seconding. I love your idea of having Misty Knight. She is traditionally kind of a detective figure.
All right, so I'm gonna just bounce this over to Kirsten for your pick, and you can choose for any subcategory you want, just like anything that you want to immediately grab onto.
So, I think I'm going to go with Mau Mau from the Apothecary Diaries. So, yeah, Jordan's laughing. Mau Mau works in, like, what appears to be, like, China, like, the Chinese Empire, but it's not specifically said. And she works, like, in the rear palace, so where all the concubines live. And people keep coming up to her asking, like, her to solve mysteries, because she's just super Tism-inspired, observant. And not only that, but, like, she knows, like, a lot of medicines, and she's really weirdly into poisons, and likes to experiment on herself, so she's just, I don't know, she keeps solving things. I like her.
That is an inspired pick. Jordan, do you want to go?
Sure, I'd like to comment on Mau Mau first. I think she's fantastic. I don't know how well she would be leading a team, though, because she tends to hate everyone else.
Oh, is the detective leading?
Yes.
Lead detective.
So she has the kind of like charisma that like everyone's gonna, as soon as she starts talking, everyone else is gonna shut up because she's always right. And she's fantastic. So like everyone seems to love her, she just doesn't love everyone else. So I do think people would follow her. She learns about poisons by gradually poisoning herself too.
So she's immune to most of them.
Which is how she ends up as a poison taster, because she can figure out whether the person is being poisoned without actually dying.
So does Mau Mau have some sort of supernatural ability or like enhanced ability?
I mean, she constantly poisons herself and is fine. Like, was this learned? Probably. Also, I would argue that the Tism aspect is a superpower. That's
okay. All right.
Okay.
She's super observant. She gets information. She knows where things are. Well, she's not always super observant, but for the most part she is, especially when it comes to what people are doing, because she gets overlooked a lot.
Okay.
And I would say that the building up tolerances to poisons and creating her own like library of different cures for things is definitely a superpower. Because knowledge is a superpower.
What is this? Knowledge is a superpower. Okay,
Knowledge
sure.
is power.
For the detective portion, you're going with the knowledge. It's not necessarily like Batman is always known as the greatest detective, but he doesn't necessarily have superpowers unless you're including being rich.
Knowing is half the battle.
Okay, all right. Jordan, would you like to pick next? You don't have to go with detective. You can go with whoever you want.
I'll keep it detective. And part of my problem with this category is every time I think of a detective, I think of someone in the Bat family. So I did not pick exactly the Bat family. I ended up going with Renee Montoya. So I did not realize, like Harley Quinn, she started in the animated Batman series instead of in the comics, and got popular and was added into the comics. But she was Harvey Bullock's partner in the Gotham PD, and then she has eventually become the Question. But she's been part of the Justice League, she's been part of Birds of Prey, and Batman Incorporated at a certain point.
I have a question. What is the Question?
That's a very good thing to say.
Jeez.
The Question is a superhero detective. So Vic Sage was the original Question, and she took over after him. I mean, it's very much I don't know if they have a specific superhero ability other than being very intelligent, very good at being a detective, hand-to-hand combat, martial art.
So, like the original Question, she has a special material that basically, it's breathable and it's clear from one side, but you can just like spray it on your face and it'll cover up your face, like it make you look like you don't have one, which is great for hiding your identity, looking intimidating, and generally making it really easy for the artist to draw you. And it's also something straight up you can't remove if you don't know how to remove it. It's so that way no one could unmask her if she needed it. Batman like has an electrical current that like runs through his cowl, which is just the safest idea you could ever have.
Wait, is that canon?
Yes, like it's in a Batman movie too. Like someone tries to take off in the Nolan movie. Somebody tries to take off Batman's cowl. I think it's in The Dark Knight when his like motorcycle falls over, and Joker and one of his henchmen are there, and the henchman tries to grab Batman's cowl and gets electrocuted, which is why the Joker doesn't take his mask off in that scene.
I totally didn't remember that.
Yeah, no, this is like a chemical compound. That's a special chemical compound over her face.
And they actually show it even in Justice League Unlimited. So the Question Huntress episode, because Huntress has to take it off at a certain point to help him breathe.
Yeah, he gives her instructions.
How is Renee Montoya at working with other people?
Well, okay, so she's been on multiple teams before. I mean, she's not like, she's prickly, but she has worked in teams. She's worked as part of the police force. She's worked as part of the Birds of Prey, as part of the Justice League. So she actually was in the Birds of Prey movie. But yeah, I mean, she's decent at working in teams.
I mean, that sounds good to me.
I believe that was Rosie Perez played her in Birds of Prey.
Mm-hmm. But there was also, I believe it was Batman No Man's Land, where she got partnered with Two-Face for a while. And was basically had to keep him killing other people for a while. So. Yeah,
basically she was there to keep Two-Face in check, and Harvey Dent is someone she knew from way back when. Mm-hmm. What's really interesting is that Renee had a period where she was either in the closet and kind of hadn't fully figured out that she was a lesbian, and like she and Harvey Dent had this will they won't they thing, and even after she came out and was known to be gay, Two-Face decided to be homophobic and still wanted to get with her. And that was a whole thing. So canonically, Two-Face, Harvey Dent, homophobe.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
I think that was also why she had to leave the police force, was when she came out. And then she became the Question. Or that was one of the reasons. Because she was also framed for murder, right?
Well, there was people framing her for murder and all that. Fundamentally, the thing that broke, so, number one, read the Gotham Central series. It's really good. I, in the last year, reread it beginning to end. Absolutely great noir detective fiction / police procedural. But to make a long story short, so many things happen it's not just one thing. She gets outed. I believe Two-Face outs her to the department and for everybody else. And then there's, times where it's made to look like she killed someone. I don't think she did. Long story short, it culminates in her partner, a guy named Crispus Allen. I'm going to spoil this. Genuinely, last time I'm going to say it, read Gotham Central. Great series. Crispus gets killed by another cop because the cop is running all sorts of organized crime stuff. And when she finds out that that cop is going to walk and stay in the police force, she kind of comes to understand exactly how fucked up a lot of, the modern police force system works. She straight up just says, I'm out, I'm leaving. I believe she also breaks up with her girlfriend because her plan is to kill the guy who killed her partner and then probably kill herself.
Oh.
And can't bring herself to kill him because part of this, there's been a whole thing where she's talking up to herself about her own morality and stuff like that. And it's a major thing that she does not feel comfortable killing a guy in cold blood, even if he's a monster, even if he killed someone who was genuinely kind of a brother figure to her, especially because this was after her actual family and her actual brother disowned her because she's from a very devoutly Catholic family. To make a long story short, she hits rock bottom, and she doesn't kill him. He gets his just desserts. She doesn't kill him and tries to drink herself into an early grave, and then fresh off of a book called Cry for Blood, which is technically listed as a Batman comic, even though Batman's only in one issue. It's actually a question comic, but Batman sells better, where Vic Sage, the first question, was trying to get Renee Montoya, he was trying to get Huntress to become the new Question, or at least a successor to him, and Huntress totally is down with killing people, and without going into too much detail, Huntress finds her dad, her long-lost, unknown dad, finds him, and then kills him.
Oh.
And Vic says, "Okay, I am not dealing with this. I am not going to trust this person." And he leaves, and he meets Renee. And over the course of probably one of my favorite comic book series of all time, 52, he becomes friends with Renee, and over time, slowly Renee starts figuring it out. He is not long for the world, and he is helping Renee understand how to basically take over his role, and that's why Renee ends up becoming the new Question. Also, notably, you mentioned the Huntress Question episode of Justice League. That's kind of riffing on a lot of stuff from Cry for Blood, except it has a happy ending. Cry for Blood famously, like I said, Huntress gets her father killed, and he's not a good guy, but rather than, do anything an honorable way, she basically arranges for a mob hit where a bunch of guys all kill each other. Yeah, so that's how Renee became the Question. It's a long story, but it's really good.
And just to clarify, this is Helena Bertinelli. So there are two versions of Huntress.
Oh, yeah.
Bertinelli is the mob daughter. The other is Helena Wayne, which I do not think is as good of a Huntress. But she's the daughter of Batman and Catwoman, I believe.
Yes.
You mentioned 52. Now, is 52 the new 52?
No. 52 is a series that was so beloved by DC, they used the number 52 for things to try to get people to associate it with one of their best series. The thing about 52 is it was a 52-issue series covering many, many plot lines. The whole thing was that each issue was a week, and it would come out weekly. It was written by a bunch of really good writers, and had some very good art done by a very bad man, and it was so influential on the comic books as a medium for superheroes especially, that a lot of the shared universe stuff that you see nowadays is built off of 52, because it is this series where all the comics jumped ahead one year and said, okay, there's a new status quo for everything, all these things are different, and then 52 is ostensibly what happened in that year. Now, they don't actually fulfill all the stuff that they talked about, but the idea of this interconnected story that is telling you about what's going on during other events and all that, we would not have the Marvel Cinematic Universe the way it is without 52. 52 is a huge thing to cover. I don't know if I could conceivably, in good conscience, suggest y'all cover it for the podcast.
So then the new 52 is bad.
The new 52 was literally just a marketing name because they knew people liked 52.
I've heard people like really bashing it, like on the internet.
Yep.
They're not wrong.
Basically, DC decided to can all of its existing continuity, just shut it down, said, nope, didn't happen. We're going to reboot literally everything, start everything back at issue 1, and they put out 52 comics all at the same time. That's why it's called the New 52. All of the writers did not know what was being kept in the reboot and what wasn't, and the editors didn't either. And so you had writers who were like, okay, Batman still has all of his Robins. So you have Batman with like 3 Robins, including one also who died and came back to life. And they're like, yeah, but he's only been Batman for like 5 to 10 years. So Batman is just going through orphans like, the way I go through tacos. Bringing them in, teaching them to be superheroes, and then throwing them to the wind. Like I said, one of them died and came back. That's not even getting into, like, they did a comic that was also a prequel to when Superman first started being a superhero, which means they had a continuity where there was an old, like, prequel Superman comic and a current Superman comic, and there was no editor who could tell you what was already canon and established in the prequel. That would be something that they could not do in the main regular Superman comic. So the guy writing the prequel is like, can I introduce this character? And they say, well, we don't know. We might introduce him in the current Superman timeline, so you can't do anything with that. And that's kind of how that whole thing went. Also, it broke up Superman and Lois Lane and had Superman get with Wonder Woman. Then, let's see, what other stuff?
So they erased Starfire's memory. I know.
Oh God, they ruined Starfire as a character. That's literally a famous comic was being made about how much they ruined Starfire's character. If you've ever heard someone say DC Comics bad at math, that is the final line of the comic, which is about how the Teen Titans cartoon had Starfire in it, and it was by many factors seen way more often than anything that's Teen Titans comics related. And so people would go to the New 52 thinking, hey, Starfire's in this. I liked the Teen Titans cartoon. Let me read this. And Starfire in that is a sex pot who can't remember people and literally goes around sleeping with all of her male teammates because she can't really care enough to remember anything about them unless she's slept with them.
Whoa.
Hey, did you know the guy who wrote that comic was later outed as a serial sexual harasser? I can't imagine what were the signs. How did anyone know?
Whoa. That's horrible.
Yeah, no, it's that's why people talk about how the New 52 was bad. There were like, I could think of maybe 2 or 3 comics that actually weren't terrible. One of which was Paul Cornell's Demon Knights, which was a sword and sorcery book. It's officially set in the Middle Ages of the DC universe, but functionally it was entirely outside of what DC was doing, and that made it so it could just be a sword and sorcery series. And then there was Animal Man, which retcons and changes a lot of Animal Man's continuity in ways that I don't necessarily like, but as its own self-contained thing, it was a very good horror comic. It was all about taking this guy and him trying to be a loving father and family man while also being a superhero, when the level of craziness of a superhero's life is played for horror for your family. Because, without getting into too much detail, just, sometimes people are like, oh yeah, the family has to deal with all sorts of crazy stuff. And this is like, family has to deal with all sorts of crazy stuff, and oh my God, isn't that terrifying.
Yeah.
And that was really good. Like I said, retcon's the story, but it's actually really good. But yeah, those are the 2 things that were good in the New 52.
Okay.
DC later on retconned it and made it so it didn't exist anymore.
The New 52 they retconned?
Yeah, the New 52 they retconned because they brought back a bunch of older stuff. They did an entire event called Convergence where it's like, yeah, we're going to take the parts of the New 52 we like, and we're going to take the parts of the parts of the original universe that we liked, and we're going to put them all together and make a, combined continuity and stuff like that. It's weird, but I won't say it made sense, but it was them kind of saying, yeah, New 52 wasn't a great idea.
Okay. Well, I apologize for my tangent, but Tom, it is your turn to pick a team member.
So, this one is kind of a non-traditional one. I don't know how great they will work with a team, but I know that would definitely be able to handle everything that you throw at them. And if someone needed to investigate a crime for me, I would have them do it, because even if they actually didn't catch the guy, it'd still be good and fun to watch. Their names are Sam and Max. If you've never heard of them, they are from independent comics by Steve Purcell's brother. Steve Purcell's brother liked to draw these comics, but he would leave them unfinished, and it would be this detective-looking dog that's very clearly like McGruff the crime dog, and a rabbit hanging out in a scene. And Steve Purcell, because his brother would just leave these unfinished comics lying around, Steve Purcell would write an ending or draw an ending to the comic, erase the text in the word balloons and change the text and basically turn them into parodies of what his brother tried to draw. And one year, when they were kids, his brother gave him the rights to Sam and Max for his birthday. And Steve Purcell turned these two guys into a great satire of detective fiction, pop culture, and they're just plain weird. If you've ever played LucasArts adventure games, some of their more fun ones are Sam and Max detective games. And they are weird, they're crazy, and there's nothing quite like Sam and Max. They're extremely fun. There also was an animated series, which is very funny because this is not a kid's comic. One of the running gags is that Steve Purcell is extremely good at drawing realistic firearms. And so whenever they pull out guns, the guns are all hyper detailed and extremely realistic. And they couldn't do that for the kids' cartoon. So instead, they just had them pull out realistic looking heavy ordnances. So it's still realistic. It just is a bit more over the top, and I guess that was how they were able to get away with it. They're a dog and a rabbit who fight crime in New York, and they're just so weird. I love them so much. Here's Sam and Max.
Wait, is that McGruff the crime dog?
No, someone calls him McGruff.
Oh.
Someone on the phone calls him McGruff, and he says, "Oh, did you hear what he called me? I hate that." And then let's sneak up into his room later and drain all the liquid out of his body.
If he calls me Hello Kitty, I'll plug him.
Max is like, if he calls me Hello Kitty, I'm going to plug him. Yeah, if you've ever heard me use like a weird turn of phrase, it's entirely possible. I am just calling up a memory of reading Sam and Max, because they never say, oh yeah, I'm going to, I'll beat him up, or he's going to regret this. No, they will say some goofy line. And like I said, I would trust them implicitly with any crime. Now, that said, it is entirely possible I will get killed during the story, but it's going to be a fun story, and really, what more could I ask for?
Okay, well...
Can we go over the ones that we didn't choose?
Oh, yeah, good idea. Okay, who did you not choose, Kirsten?
I didn't choose Major Kusanagi from Ghost in the Shell standalone complex.
That's a good one.
I know, but I like Malmo more. I also didn't choose Detective Conan, and I also didn't pick L from Death Note.
L from Death Note?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the best part of Death Note. Mm-hmm. Okay, sorry. He and Ryuk are both the best.
I think Ryuk is the best. But Ryuk, I think, would be a bad lead detective. No.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah, well, he'd find an apple cart and just be eating all the apples the whole
he
time.
would just, not put his all into it,
Also, it's Ryuk. He'd be like, yeah, who killed the guy? Oh, hold on, I think it was me.
The other part of this is, I didn't realize that this is the person that was in charge. So, besides, Kusanagi, none of these people are good for, leading a team. Maybe Detective Conan.
I mean, I think you went with a good one, but you also had very, very interesting and good alternatives. I feel like all of your alternatives, if they work together, that would be just chaos that I would love to watch.
Yeah, which is why I picked Sam and Max.
Yeah, because you have to figure out, well, do I want them to do their job adequately, or do I want chaos? Mm-hmm. And Tom went with chaos.
Yes.
Aren't we surprised?
Most everything else I have is going to be just genuinely, probably good teams for this. I just picked the zaniest lead detective because it's a way for me to say more people should read Sam and Max.
Also, it's the lead of your team is setting the bar,
Yeah, Yes. No, I think my science guy is going to be able to keep up with them. I definitely think the science guy is going to be able to handle it.
Okay, so Tom, who was your alternatives? Did you have any?
My primary, well, number one, my first alternative is, so several of mine are literally just like, if I can't do that for this, I might rotate through and change which one goes to that. But most of my list is using non-Big Two comics, not Marvel, not DC. So my other one was Dick Tracy.
Oh, okay.
Like the original Dick Tracy comic that's been going for forever. Like, I was just like, yeah, no, if I'm going to go with someone, why not go with a classic? Which is going to come back on my list, I assume.
Very interesting.
But yeah, no, it would either be him or maybe the Phantom, who is another old school comic character, because the Phantom alternates between being a regular guy and then wearing this purple costume where he goes around fighting crime. And he has a ring on that has a skull imprint on it, and he punches people so hard it leaves a skull imprint on them, so that way you know this guy has been beaten by the Phantom before, because they have a little skull-shaped scar on their face.
What a calling card.
Oh yeah, no, he's great.
Jordan, who were your alternates?
So, as soon as I heard lead detective, my first thought was Tim Drake. Because he's the best detective. All of the Bat family are detectives, pretty much. Tim Drake has always been billed as, like, the lead detective, because he's the one who figured out that Batman was Bruce Wayne, and basically went to him and said, okay, I figured this out, you're gonna make me Robin now. But other than that, I mean, you could do Jessica Jones. So Bat family is where I mainly went.
Okay, so I had Jessica Jones, but then I was like, you know what? This is going to be way too easy if I just like pick all of like the A-team kind of Marvel people or DC people. So I'm going to try and keep it a little obscure, like a little like off the beaten path. And then I did Misty Knight, which I heard that was my choice. And my other alternate was actually Colleen Wing, who Tom brought up before, like when I mentioned Misty Knight. Colleen Wing was like my alternate because she had worked together with Misty Knight in one of their comics, I think, in one of the arcs in one of the runs.
Yeah, Daughters of the Dragon. That was the thing I name dropped. It was they were together in Daughters of the Dragon, and Netflix were cowards for not taking their Misty Knight and Colleen Wing and giving them a show together, because that would have been great.
That would have been great. Because didn't they have both characters cast?
Yes, Misty Knight was in Luke Cage, and Colleen Wing was the only good thing in Iron Fist.
Okay. Do we want to move on like to the next one listed, or do we want to jump around?
I'm good going through the order.
Okay. Then I'm going to go...
Follow your heart.
Okay. Thank you, Tom. I'm going to go with my tech expert. So, like Jordan, you mentioned, I think before when we were off mic, the tech expert and like the science person, I think they kind of overlap, but I wanted to have more categories. So, I mean, you know, we're not going to like be mean about the like, oh, well, that's technically science and not technology. So I'm going to go with Forge, who is a Marvel superhero. He's with the X-Men. He has superhuman intellect, specifically in inventing mechanical devices, and he can conceive, design, and build advanced mechanical devices and operate, modify, and disassemble existing technology or create countermeasures for it. So I was like, that fits perfectly into technology, because if they come across like a lock or something, or like a locked door or a safe or whatever, Forge can go in and like figure out how it works and how to counteract it.
I love Forge as a character. He is part of one of my favorite individual X-Men issues, which is called Life Death. He kind of intersects with my underrated fave of Marvel, which is Rom Space Knight. But yeah, Forge, he's also one of the most prominent Cheyenne superheroes in comics. He does know magic, but the thing is that the magic is literally so chaotic and dangerous. He sticks with technology and then accomplishes everything he needs with technology without even needing to do magic, which is, again, the guy is just extremely good at that sort of thing. He has a very, very fraught, problematic relationship with Storm, because he developed technology that took away her mutant powers.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, that was the Rom Space Knight crossover. So Rom has a device that's supposed to nullify it's called a Dire Wraith, the Dire Wraith's ability to turn into a person. They can imitate people and all that, and Forge is like, I can, figure out how to make more of these. And the thing about making more of those is he makes it and he finds out also it depowers mutants. And someone gets a hold of it and uses it on Storm. And then for a very long time, Storm did not have powers. She was actually leading the X-Men because she is actually extremely competent and extremely good at what she does. She, without superpowers, beat Cyclops in a fight to take over the X-Men.
Damn, good for her.
Oh yeah, she also got a mohawk at the time, and it was a great look, and I think we should have more Mohawk Storm, even though her powers are back. Forge, I do genuinely love him as a character. He's a very good inventor, but he's a very complicated, flawed guy who has made a lot of technology that in the right hands can do great things, and in the wrong hands can do horrible things, and unlike most of the scientists in Marvel, Forge actually feels guilt about the bad uses of his powers and tech, and wants to do better. Let's see you do better, Reed Richards.
Okay, so in a team environment, I think he won't be a complete psychopath. He would be willing to work with.
Oh no,
with my.
He's extremely willing to work with. He's very good as a team member.
Great.
That's what I mostly when I think of Forge, I think of him as part of X-Men, and so therefore he is like part of the team.
Fantastic. So Kirsten, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go with his name's Nico Borgil. He's from the show Undead Unluck. He has, I guess, the superpower where he remembers everything that he's ever seen, heard, just anything and everything. And so on this team of misfits, he's their tech guy. And so there's one girl who is unable to her powers are so catastrophic and all-consuming that she has to be contained in this metal shell of a body, and he made that, and he makes all their weapons and any armor that they need to contain their powers, and he also remembers everything, so he's alarmingly smart.
And so is it just a manga or is it an anime
It's
as well?
both.
Oh, cool.
I've never heard of this, so this is really interesting. I'm going to have to look this up.
Jordan, do you have your pick?
So, mine is Cubit from Irredeemable. So, this is a comic that was put out by Boom Comics. It's by Mark Waid. So, the comic is basically what if Superman went bad?
Ooh.
And is there anyone who, can his old team stop him, basically? So, Cupid is the tech expert. Superhuman intelligence and technology. He got recruited to the team, which is called the Paradigm, because of his teleportation technology, which at the time he was basically using to go to different planets and go, hey, I found new food items that I want to try. But this was also the first time I saw someone in a comic who mentioned, please don't touch me. It literally hurts when you touch me.
Oh.
And I'm like, hey, that's me. But yeah, he's great. He's the moral center of the team too. So I figure my team probably needs someone with morals on it. But yeah, he's fantastic. But at the same time, it's he works with a team, and it's very much everyone on the team pretty much trusts him, but he doesn't always share everything. But because of his moral code, everyone's like, well, it can't be too bad if he's keeping something from us. It's annoying that he's doing it, but we trust him to a point.
I like when that's a dynamic. It's not oh man, this person's been keeping a secret, everything's dramatic, and it's more like, okay, we know he's keeping a secret, but could he at least let us know what's need to know?
Oh, and I decided to make him the tech expert instead of the science expert because part of his power is if they're in a bind, he basically asks the team, give me anything electronic on you. Within seconds, he takes it apart and makes them different things. So he's like, okay, so now we have communication devices. Now we have little watches that if you press them will teleport you somewhere away from here so we can get away quickly.
Oh, wow. He does that fast?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Are you familiar, Tom, with this character?
I don't know if I ever finished Irredeemable. I like their interpretation of the Superman archetype, It's a guy called the Plutonian, and when you find out what's been going on and why the Plutonian is the way he is, I'm like, oh, that's a really interesting concept, which is something I never say about evil Superman characters normally. I'm like, okay, that's boring, or oh, you didn't think about this, and then you get Irredeemable, and I'm just like, oh, that's a really interesting concept.
What would happen if it wasn't the Kents that found Superman?
Also, just straight up, what if you could never turn off super hearing, super smelling, super sight, super touch? Like, all of his senses are super. And, like, yeah, at a certain point, this guy is going to snap because the entire world is messed up and messing with his ability to perceive things. And it's like stuff that is on the atomic level, it messes with him. And I'm just like, that is, the Plutonian's universe is absolutely hell. And I'm like, that actually makes evil Superman interesting. Because he eventually snaps, but he was able to hold it together for a while, but he does not have the situation. Am I correct in remembering this being the motivation for Plutonian, or am I thinking of another evil Superman?
So...
Dang it, I'm thinking of a different evil Superman story.
So it is that, like, he does have trouble turning things off, but that's not why he snaps. He makes a mistake, and he tries to cover it up. And then, like, and he has been so focused on being good and having to be perfect for so long. And that was why he covered up the mistake. Because it was, like, when you look back on it, you're just going, tell your team. That wasn't something that, like, that it wasn't up to him to figure it out. But then he tries to cover it up, and it gets harder and harder for him to keep it secret. And he has to do worse and worse things to keep it secret. And that's when he finally snaps. But I like the fact that his Fortress of Solitude, it's not ice, it's fire. So he's like in the middle of the earth because that's where he can block everything out.
Okay, because there's several things that I'm mixing up. Because there's another one where, like, literally he had, like, something that was inhibiting his senses. And I'm thinking of another comic, and I can't think of which one it is.
Mm-hmm. But part of the mystery in this is they're trying to figure out why he snapped. Because it opens with him killing one of his teammates.
Oh my god.
And then the rest of the paradigm going, what just happened? And it's not even the rest of them. He starts, like, hunting them down.
Oh, wow.
And so the ones who are left are like, we don't know if we can stop him. And part of it is, like, Cupid is kind of the Batman. So I think he really kills the Batman character first. The one who would have the backup plan. And it's so what if the first person that Superman snaps and realizes I'm going to do this, so I have to take out Batman first before he can react.
A lot of foresight into that plan.
Mm-hmm. But I do like ultimately there are pieces of it I don't like, and there's spoilers, and it's a lot of trigger warnings. So before any of y'all read this, look up the trigger warnings on it, and I can tell you, like, what sections to kind of, like, skip through. But I like the very, very end of it and how they kind of resolve what happens to him. It's worth reading. Just read the spoilers, or not spoilers, the trigger warnings first.
I definitely, now that I thought I knew I thought I knew this series, and I was thinking I'm combining it with something else, so now I need to find what series I was combining with Irredeemable. And it's not Incorruptible, which is the spin-off, because I know the spin-off.
Yeah, I think I read, like, a little bit of the spin-off, and I'm like, I don't like this, but I didn't like the character that they were spinning off, so. Yeah. No, Cupid was my favorite in it.
All right, good pick. So, Tom, your turn.
Okay, so I took Tech Expert a little literally, because I'm not doing the big two. That means I can't have ROM Space Knight. The thing is there is a great, legally distinct and lawyer-friendly counterpart to ROM Space Knight. And he's great on his own and created to be his own thing, but also kind of a tribute to ROM Space Knight. His name is Zach Thompson, and you might have seen him in the newest season of Invincible. They call him Tech Jacket. He's a version of kind of riffing on the Green Lantern, where he is a kid, a teenager on Earth, who finds an alien dying. The alien has this special suit that he wears that is able to do all sorts of crazy things. It has all these advanced pieces of technology, and the alien instructs them, like, oh, your planet's in danger, take my suit, and it forms a little jacket on him. Of course, the aliens in question are like, hey, wait a second, why is this human walking around with our dead buddy's coat? They get very angry at him, and so there's a lot of misunderstandings in trying to save the day. Tech Jacket is he's a genuinely compelling character, and he is a teenager named Zach Thompson. He's created by Robert Kirkman, same guy who did Invincible. And basically he has this item of phenomenal cosmic power, this amazingly powerful alien armor, and it kind of has Power Ranger suit energy to it with how it looks, because it's like if a Power Ranger and ROM Space Knight were combined. It's just kind of a very compelling story. I love that he is a sci-fi tech expert. He has a space station that he and his family run while they protect Earth and all that sort of thing, and they have a lot of sci-fi technology that they've gotten a hold of when he made friends with the aliens. It's a very fun series. It's only been 23 issues. He's appeared in a lot of other stories. Notably, he has fought during what was called the Invincible War, where an army of evil versions of the superhero Mark Grayson, or Invincible, attack Earth and cause massive death and destruction. They're extremely hard to take down. Tech Jacket was able to take out 2 of them, which is more than what most superheroes could do. He's fought all sorts of stuff. I believe at one point he literally flew a guy into the sun to save the planet.
Wow.
So he has this really cool story and kind of underused in that universe. So I like having him around, and he's just he is a generally good-hearted guy. He is not the most good-hearted boy with an alien super weapon is Jaime Reyes, the Blue Beetle, but again, I'm not doing big 2. If you want to look him up, definitely look up Tech Jacket. Like I said, he's also in Invincible.
All right. So I only had one alternate for this one. I found a dude named Bloodshot. So he was... Why are you laughing?
Is this Bloodshot from Image Comics?
It says Valiant Comics.
Valiant Comics, that's what it's called, not Image. Yes. There's a movie adaptation, and he's played by Vin Diesel. So I'm imagining Vin Diesel as the tech expert.
Okay, so I only chose him because his little profile said that he can bypass any decryption with his mind. So I thought that would come in handy for locks or safes or anything like that. But then I found Forge, and I was like, oh, this is the guy. Okay, Kirsten, you go.
So I actually had a bunch. And just, go with me here, because we've been watching a lot of this. The next one I was going to choose was, Lexington from Gargoyles.
Excellent. No, there are Gargoyles comics. The series is actually canonically continued in comics.
Right, but, so my argument is this gargoyle went from, Middle Ages Scotland all the way to, set in the 90s. And he's suddenly able to, repair a motorcycle, figure out video games. The one we watched today, he repaired and flew a helicopter. My argument is that, if he can do all these things in the few months where he's awake in this new millennia or century, then, what could he have done should he have not been asleep the entire time?
Yeah, it seems like he's very adaptable.
So he's going to be my second choice. There's also Edward from Cowboy Bebop.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, that's a radical choice.
I was like, he's really good. I mean, it would be hilarious. There's also Ritsuko from Evangelion. The problem is, Ritsuko could either be the science person or the tech person, just because, has everybody seen Evangelion?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she's a scientist who made some technology.
Isn't Ritsuko... Ritsuko's the blonde, right?
Yes.
Okay, so she's kind of a sociopath.
She makes robots move.
She makes robots out of the souls of dead mothers.
Jesus.
Yeah, right?
We said no supervillain.
She's not a supervillain.
She's just a regular villain?
She's not a supervillain. Gendo is a supervillain.
Gendo is the piece of shit in this show. She's just a bit traumatized and has a mom complex. And then there's also Bulma, because she's just constantly making spaceships and shit.
Oh, Bulma from the hit movie Dragon Ball Evolution.
Dragon Ball with all the white people?
Yeah.
That one?
Right.
Yeah, that's what she's
Right,
doing, right?
Yeah, we can go with that.
And nothing else?
Nothing at all. No, I was specifically talking about Asian Bulma. But yeah, so she's making like alien technology work, and she's making all this other crap work. She finds the Dragon Balls like every other day, it feels. She was a choice. And then I threw Winry from Full Metal Alchemist in there.
Winry, I
just
love her.
She's very good.
I really like her attitude.
She would have been maybe like a good leader, like a good teammate.
Yeah.
Could keep everyone
But
in line.
Miko's very chill, so, you know, if we're going with that, then, like, Mao Mao's chill, he's chill.
They got the same vibe going.
They're both a little sadistic and weird, you know?
Oh, okay.
That's gonna be the theme now.
Got it.
Okay, to be fair though, Mao Mao tests on herself. She doesn't necessarily test on others.
Only because her dad told her she couldn't. Like, don't forget that part. Like, she's not...
Okay.
I don't know. I love her, but she's not, like, quite Dexter levels of, like, I know you're a serial killer, but you cannot kill good people. But she's like, I would 100% experiment on people, but my dad told me no.
Yeah, and it's not she's not doing it to hurt people. She wants to know what's going on and what will
Yeah,
happen.
yeah. But also, like, I don't know if this is canonically. I think this is, like, a meme that I saw. But, like, hypothetically, if Mao Mao ever, like, she does get pregnant. But, like, she gets pregnant, like, 100%, like, placenta, she'd be doing weird experiments on it. You know? Skirting around it like, this was mine, it's part of me, surely I can use this.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not hurting anyone. It's another thing she can experiment with.
Who is your backup, Jordan?
Well, Oracle, of course.
Okay, yeah.
But then also, so I had remembered, I loved the Static Shock TV series when I was little, and I remembered Gear from Static Shock. So he's also a tech expert.
Who is Static Shock?
Yeah. His power is literally he's just extremely intelligent at engineering. That's his superpower, and so there was like a time where he just kind of had a manic episode, and he built a super intelligent cyborg robot that attaches to his back, and he calls it Backpack. He's great. Yes. My backup for this was, well, actually, I have two. One is Fran Mataraki. If anyone's ever read Frankenfran, the manga, she is a weird, like, homunculus person who just makes weird scientific things and is extremely super competent at doing stuff.
Oh my god.
She's more of a scientist. Wait, are you familiar with Frankenfran
No,
at all?
I was going to say, Tom, you should have done the guy from Evangelion who makes the dog.
That's Full Metal Alchemist, and no.
Full Metal Alchemist.
No!
No.
not a superhero.
Heroes.
Tucker
Heroes.
is not a
Our
superhero.
rule was heroes.
Oh, right. I forgot.
Frankenfran is more like... Frankenfran is more like kind of a character who operates like... imagine if you went to a surgeon and said, listen, I feel, like I don't fit in enough. I wish I was taller. And then she's going to do something that, like, medically makes you taller, but you, like, have to learn, like, a Twilight Zone style lesson about why you felt insignificant by being not tall. Like, it's that sort of stuff.
So
there's
like
a lot
therapist.
of things... Kind of, but with more body horror. She has two giant bolts on her head also. If you ever look her up, those are not hair decos, those are bolts that hold her head together. She's very weird, and I find it fascinating, and she will do exactly any sort of technology anyone needs. It's just going to be really weird and probably made out of living tissue. The other, though, is just kind of a nice one, which is... his name's Donatello. He has 3 brothers.
Oh, I'm familiar.
They're all turtles. Yeah, Donatello from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He is an engineer. He loves machines. He loves science. And he only has 3 fingers, so the fact that he can type so fast is actually a huge achievement.
The best of the turtles.
The best.
Raphael's the best of the turtles.
Oh, no.
I can't tell them apart.
The colors, Kate. Think of the colors.
Raphael is the red one. Donatello's the purple one.
Okay. So I'm going to go to Paranormal Expert, and I am going to choose Jericho from DC Comics. Jericho can possess people, and when he possesses people, he has access to all of their powers and their memories when he's possessing them, and he can also read minds when he's not possessing people. So I feel like that's very paranormal-y. So he's going to be on my team.
Also, he speaks ASL.
Oh!
He has damage to his vocal cords, so he speaks in ASL.
Only in ASL?
If he's possessing people, or there's a really bad writer, he will sometimes speak. But for the most part, he uses ASL. And there was like a whole thing in the original. He's from the Teen Titans, and in the story he was in, the original story, Raven starts reading and learning ASL, so she doesn't need to translate what Jericho is saying.
I love that. Okay, so we're learning new languages here on my team.
Yeah. Yeah, and you've seen the original Teen Titans cartoon, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you saw his dad on there.
Deathstroke?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh.
His name is Jericho Wilson, and Deathstroke is Slade Wilson.
Oh, no.
He is Deathstroke's son. He, in fact, lost his vocal cords because someone was holding him hostage to use as leverage on Deathstroke. And Deathstroke thought he could make the shot to kill the guy before he cut Jericho's throat. And Jericho's throat didn't get cut all the way through. He survived, but the guy holding the knife did still destroy his vocal cords.
Well, I will take good care of him. Okay.
He also has the best hair.
Oh, I don't think I saw a picture of his face.
1980s Jericho, back in his first appearance, he had very 80s hair.
Okay. I love that. He can share his shampoo with the rest of the group. Did you send me a picture? Is that his hair?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the 80s hair.
Why is he blonde?
I think he might have his mom's hair.
Oh.
Yeah, I think he looks a lot like his mom.
Yeah, he does look like his mom because his sister looks like Slade.
She was his half-sister, though, wasn't she?
Well, that might be why she looks more like Slade.
Okay. I do really like, what is this medieval times looking dude?
Yeah, that's Jericho's original costume. Now he's got like a white suit, and it looks like a normal superhero suit or something like that. I will always stand for the weird 1980s costume. There is literally a page on Book Riot or a series where they do fashion disasters from comic books, and he is one of their biggest examples.
Disaster? What? This man is a walking Vogue profile. Look at this. The puffy white shirt and that big ass wrestling belt. This is fantastic. Okay, thank you for sharing this with me.
His consciousness also gets uploaded to the Titan's Tower at one point.
I think I remember that.
I think it's Raven who gets him out.
Was that in the comic thing that you gave me? Because I remember that story.
It might have been in the omnibus, so, because it was...
Oh!
I forgot they put him in the actual...
Yeah, he's in the cartoon.
series.
They put him in the cartoon.
He's so cute.
He looks like someone who you will find on a quest that's going to ask you 3 riddles.
Yes! Looks like a little elf boy. Okay, all right, enough with Jericho. We'll be here all day. So, my medieval times son is joining the team. Kirsten, your turn.
Question. What if for my next person, there's 2 things, one human, one not, and like the one that's not is kind of dependent on the human. Can they be one grouping?
If I did Sam and Max,
Yeah,
I think I
Tom
got
did
no ground to. I got no ground to say no.
Cool. I'm gonna argue for Seiko ISA and Turbo Granny from Dan to Dan. So, Seiko ISA is the matriarch in Dan to Dan. She is like this weirdly hot grandmother who is a priestess. So she keeps the barriers up for the whole town that they live in. She keeps out any demons or bad spirits, and she knows all about the paranormal. Now, Turbo Granny is a demon who likes to take vengeance on people who harmed women. So she's lovely. She's called Turbo Granny because when she was a demon, she was known to run 100 kilometers an hour. But there was this whole initial battle that happened, and moral of the story is that Turbo Granny gets put into this, like, cat doll situation. And she doesn't have any of her powers. Yeah, she can, like, walk around, but she's just this tiny little doll. And as her former, she used to be a demon. She's got to know paranormal stuff.
Why does this grandmother have those kind of legs?
Just weirdly attractive. It's impressive. And
all grandmas are weirdly attractive if you're not a coward.
Okay, Tom, calm down.
Like, that is from the manga. That's like art in the manga. Oh, I haven't posted it yet. Hold on. There it is.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
In the manga. And it's like, what? This grandmother's so attractive. It's odd.
I will say that your group dynamic is going to be wild.
See, here's the thing. So Turbo Granny has so much sass. Like, too much, some might say. Momo's not going to put up with that shit. She's either going to ignore her, or she's going to, like, slap her, or something, Seiko ISA is, like, the same way. Very, like, sassy, but she doesn't put up with shit. So, I feel like it could be, like, a Mao Mao as, like, the leader, but ISA is, like, the maternal figure in the group supporting Mao Mao.
I see.
And if Mao Mao disagreed with the granny, would it be a Mao Mao rebellion?
I feel like Mao Mao would just continue, like, what she was doing.
Or just poison her to get her out.
Yeah, just, like...
hey, listen, maybe the Mao Mao rebellion's justified.
Like, I don't think Mao Mao is going to put up with, like, too much sass. I think she's just going to continue being Mao Mao. Just walk away, just ignore her.
Okay. I loved learning about these two characters. Thank you.
They raise so many questions.
I am thrilled that they are in our pile. Jordan, who is your pick?
Okay, so I can go with the obvious, which was Constantine, because I was trying to do people I have not previously talked about. So I went with Zelma Stanton, because when they introduced her in Ironheart, I immediately messaged all of y'all and said you have to read about her. So she is Doctor Strange, or she starts as Doctor Strange's librarian, and then becomes one of the. So she knows magic. She's a librarian, so she has the expert insight, and she also is one of the instructors at Strange Academy. So also fantastic run. If you have not read it, Strange Academy is amazing. I loved it. It's Scotty. I can't remember his last name.
Not Scotty Young.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, what is her superhero name?
She's Zelma.
Oh, okay.
She just goes by her regular name because she's a librarian and this is her job.
I see.
Mm-hmm. And she does have magic powers that she has learned and honed in her time working for Doctor Strange, and then she ends up Weird World at one point, and then when she is helping run Strange Academy, and she's also the librarian at Strange Academy.
Do you see Doctor Strange interacting with her?
Oh, very much so when she's first introduced. So Strange Academy has like one or two issues that have Doctor Strange, but she's very much a partner with Wong and Doctor Strange when she's introduced.
That's cool, because he can be kind of a dickhead.
Yeah, and she puts him in his place occasionally.
Good.
But I love Doctor Strange.
I know you do.
Yeah. Well, and so she would work better with the team than Constantine would.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Constantine does not work well with other people. He will sacrifice everyone if he has to.
I think I've only seen the Keanu Reeves movie, so I'm not... Oh, and the Sandman Constantine, so...
I have so much to show you.
But he's a dick too?
He's not. It's a... So
he is. Yes, he is.
Also, Jordan can fix him.
I don't think Jordan wants to fix him.
Jordan wants to make him worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, okay, no. So I would not be able to work with him because his whole thing is choose between the world and the people you care about. He's choosing the world. He would easily sacrifice the people he cares about. Not necessarily easily, and that is my biggest pet peeve with him because I'm like, I don't care about the world. I'm saving the people I care about.
That is the opposite of the found family trope that I love so much.
Uh-huh.
I don't like that.
I find it interesting as a character dynamic. There's a lot of really cool things you can do with that sort of story, and if you have someone who knows what they're doing, it can be really compelling to see the drama of that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and it haunts him too. Like the people he can't save or the people he has to like, because he's like, I am so sorry that I had to lie to you and do this, and I'm having to sacrifice you now. But otherwise, the entire world's going to be destroyed, and I can't figure another way out of this.
My paranormal expert is, in fact, someone who had a long history of fighting Nazis and Nazis who escaped getting held to account after World War II. Among many other things, actually. He does a lot. And, I mean, he did have some problems in the 50s, but he has since gotten sober. A lot of these paranormal detectives have substance abuse problems, so I'm not holding that against him. But his name is Anangun Raman, but most people better know him as Hellboy.
Oh, Jordan called it.
Yes. Yeah, my paranormal investigator's Hellboy. Listen, I love anything that involves the Mike Mignola, BPRD, and all that sort of thing. Also, I find Hellboy a very compelling character. Now, I will say, the comic Hellboy is not the movie Hellboy. Movie Hellboy, or specifically the Ron Perlman movie Hellboy, is very much based on, like, the younger version of Hellboy, where he has a lot more, like, quippiness and all that sort of thing. Comic Hellboy is a guy who has been through some rough stuff, but he has, like, a really good heart and wants to help save people. And pretty famously, he is, like, ruthlessly protective of innocent people. And it's really interesting because you have this guy who has been designed, like literally I believe his father cut off his arm and replaced it with a supernatural arm that'll destroy the world. And not his adoptive father, his biological father. His adoptive father is wonderful. You have this guy who is literally just everything is set to make him evil. And he is a good boy, and he might have some inner demons, he might have to deal with some stuff, but his heart is always in the right place, and he's a good guy. So I love Hellboy. He's great. He's a good guy. I mean, he does have to deal with some stuff because his girlfriend left to become the Queen of the Fairies, but, you know, he's also literally been through so much. So I think he's good. He works on a team with the BPRD.
Hey, Tom.
He is yeah?
Would you say that he's been through hell?
I mean, yes, his childhood was hell. He didn't get to Earth till he was like a little kid, like a third grader or something. Have you ever seen the Hellboy? Have y'all seen the Hellboy movies?
Yes.
Doug Jones is Abe Sapien? Yes.
Yes.
I have not.
Yeah, he is great. And no shade to the other people who have played Hellboy, but Ron Perlman is the one I always think of as Hellboy. He's a good fella. He's got a good heart.
He'll be your good boy on your team.
Hellboy is probably like even and normal balanced good. My other ones have like kind of, on one hand they're good but morally inflexible, and another one is good but also kind of zany. So, yeah, I guess he is probably the most straight-up regular good guy. And I would want him in my corner if I was dealing with a mystery or something like that.
Okay, so I will go to my alternate. I only had one alternate, and Jordan, you're going to like this. It was Elsa Bloodstone. Mm-hmm. I put her on there after we watched, what was it called?
Werewolf by Night.
Werewolf by Night. So I wanted her to be like my Buffy. She seemed cool, but I thought Jericho's powers were a little bit cooler, but Elsa was up there. Okay, Kirsten, who were your alternates?
I had Yusuke Urameshi from Yu Yu Hakusho. Is he a spirit detective? Have you guys seen this? I think he's a spirit detective.
A spirit detective probably is going to be your best way of describing what he does.
Okay, but yeah, he's a detective for demons and spirits and all kinds of things. And then, so I also thought about picking Satoru Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen. And I was like, he's so annoying though, so much, and is kind of like a narcissistic asshole sometimes. And that just wouldn't go with Mao Mao. But does everybody know what Jujutsu Kaisen is?
I've never seen Jujutsu Kaisen.
Okay, so it takes place in this, like, Japan where some people are able to see spirits. So, and the people that are able to do that are called Jujutsu sorcerers. And they go to the school, and it's, like, based out of the school, but not really. And Satoru Gojo, he has 2 giant gifts. One is called Limitless, which makes it so that there can be an infinite amount of space between somebody touching him, and they'll just like never end up physically coming into contact with them because there's an infinite amount of space. But he's also super familiar with spirits and the paranormal. And this would have only been funny if you guys had seen Jujutsu Kaisen, because I was going to argue in favor for what some people consider the villain, but I do not.
We will have a chance for you to do a villain draft, and you and Jordan can go wild.
Okay.
Jordan, who'd you have?
Well, we talked about Constantine. I also had Zatanna, Doctor Strange, and Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch would be good.
Yeah, but she's also kind of overpowered. And again, like, she can play well with others, but not always.
Ah.
But I feel like that's a lot of the people I'm picking anyway.
You got your team is going to be like all in their own corners. Okay. For my sneaky person, my sneaky dude, I don't know if this is... tell me if I cannot do this. But I came across a X-Men called Forget-Me-Not. Right? That's a thing.
Forget-Me-Not, I think, is specifically a member of the Morlocks, which are the underground mutant society that don't fit in with humans.
But this person is not a villain. Is that correct?
Forget-Me-Not is a full-on X-Men, yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm choosing Forget-Me-Not, who is an X-Men superhero, and his basically his power is like what happened with the Sentry that we read. Like, everybody just forgets him. So I thought the perfect person to be a sneaky dude is somebody who everybody forgets. So that is Forget-Me-Not. Anybody have any opinions?
I forgot he was part of the X-Men. Unironically, that was not me doing a bit. I legitimately forgot he was in the X-Men. Also, I do know that he, at one point, was nicknamed Nothing Man.
Nothing Man. This poor dude's self-esteem must be in the toilet.
Oh, yeah. Because the part of the gag of him is they retcon him into X-Men scenes. It's just no one remembers that he was there.
So, like the Sentry.
Yeah.
Okay. That's mine. Kirsten, who is yours?
Mine is going to be Killua, or like anybody from his family would be good, except for like Killua's older brother. And they're from Hunter x Hunter. They're a family of assassins, and they're like super well known. They have like a whole fortress on top of a mountain. In fact, they're so well known that everybody knows where they live, and everybody's afraid of them. And Killua is the youngest son, and he's just super sneaky. Like, he'll sneak up on people and, like, rip out their hearts. And, like, he's, like, a prodigy in this, like, super famous, amazing assassin family. And so, he's super sneaky.
All right. Welcome, Killua.
Also, he's super chill, and he would let Mao Mao do whatever she wants. Like, as long as he gets snacks, like, he's really chill.
Okay, Jordan, you go ahead.
Okay, so I chose Princess Projectra from the Legion of Superheroes. She's also been called Censor Girl, but I was introduced to her in, I believe it's the 3-boot. And so a little bit of spoilers for this version of her. She starts out
as just like the money, like she's a literal princess of a world. So she's the funding for the Legion of Superheroes. And she gets her powers when her planet is destroyed. And I just remember, so her powers are creating realistic illusions. And I just remember the scene where I don't remember like how she told the Legion that her planet was destroyed, but I remember them like going and talking to her on the planet and seeing like people moving around, like it looks like it's a functioning planet, and then her bringing down the illusion and showing the entire planet has been destroyed.
Oh my god.
It was just an example of how powerful she is, because she can fool all of your senses at once. So as far as a sneaky person, I was thinking more of someone who can hide the entire team, not just themselves.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
But also, I didn't realize until I was learning more about her, she was actually created by Jim Shooter when he was 13 years old. And he sold a script for her that debuted when he was 14. So that's fantastic.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and she looks really cool too. But I also just like purple, so. But yeah, she's pretty cool.
How would she fit on your team?
She has worked with the team before.
You always
Again,
preference it like they have experience.
In other iterations than the one that I was introduced to her with, so she blames the Legion for the destruction of her planet in the one that I read. But in other iterations, she is a like good member of the team and works with everyone. So I mean, she can follow direction and work with the team.
Okay.
As long as they remember that she is a princess, sometimes queen.
Okay. There might be a little power struggle there.
Uh-huh. I feel like Renee can handle her, though.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so listen, stop me if you heard this one. Billionaire Playboy pretends to be kind of a foolish fop for the wider city, while secretly he is one of the masters of stealth and spying and fighting evil. And he wears a all black with a brightly colored signature color, and no one knows who he is, but he does know what evil lurks in the hearts of men. And that's why I'm talking about one of the most classic superheroes, literally one of the characters who inspired superheroes as a concept, the Shadow, one of the original superheroes. Depending on the story, he either can turn invisible or he's just really good as a spy. And good at stealth. But in the comics, there's several different versions of his origin and who his identity is. But in the comics, his name is Lamont Cranston, and he is a guy who pretends to be like this kind of incompetent, well-to-do guy. He's actually extremely good at basically no one noticing him. And as such, he is able to just kind of sit in on people when they're doing bad things and all that sort of stuff, which is why he's known, the catchphrase, what evil lurks in the hearts of men, the Shadow knows, because he was there to watch it, and it's just nobody noticed him. And famously, he was played by Orson Welles in the radio show.
Ooh.
But yeah, he's one of the original archetypical superheroes. And there was a movie in the 90s. It had a good soundtrack.
The end.
The end. Yes, the end. Yeah, the Shadow is normally a guy who has to work alone because he is stealthy, but part of the way the Shadow works, he is very much a guy who leaves people tied up for the police or leaves it, stuff for the police and arranges things. So he could be an advance member of a team and leave stuff ready for the rest of the team in this situation. So it's not going to be so much that he's with the team, but instead probably your scout and person who goes ahead of everybody else. Also, I know this is weird to say, but as someone who interacts with people who are much younger than me in my job, I once mentioned the Shadow to some people, and someone literally looked at me and said, "Oh, like the Silver Shroud in Fallout." If you're a fan of the Fallout series, the Silver Shroud is literally just the Shadow. It's like a Fallout universe's legally distinct version of the Shadow. He's just silver and not black, and that's it. That is entirely it. Oh, his scarf is white in Fallout instead of black. But yeah, no, he's just the Shadow. Like if you're thinking of the Silver Shroud from Fallout, you're thinking of the Shadow.
All right. So For my sneak, I had Cypher, who is from Marvel, and Cypher has complete stealth ability. She has invisibility. She has intangibility, inaudibility, and inodorability. So, like, basically, she can just make herself not be there. So I thought that was a really cool way to be sneaky. Those are powers that, like, I feel would be really cool to have. If you ever ask, like, oh, what superpower would you like to have? I'd be like, that'd be cool to have, like, intangibility. Like, you wouldn't be there physically. Or, like, inaudibility. Like, you can just, like, make yourself not heard by anybody. And then the other one, I was like, so I kind of cheated with this one, and I did, like, a bigger comic book person. But I was like, Ant-Man is pretty sneaky because he's small, and he could just, like, sneak into anywhere because he makes himself so tiny. And then that's all I have. I just realized, I think, what happens if my team forgets Forget-Me-Not?
Then they have to have some little note to remind him that he is around.
We're going to be mementoing.
Yeah, no, you literally just have, like
a Post-it.
Yeah, I was going to say a tattoo, but that works too. Post-its are probably a bit easier.
Probably not a tattoo.
You said memento, and that's what I thought. I think Cypher was created by Mark Guggenheim for the Young X-Men series.
Okay, Kirsten, your alternates.
I had another one from Hunter x Hunter. His name's Melaron, and it's a little trippy. His species is called a chimera ant.
I know who you're
talking about. Okay, but based on, like, what was eaten to create him, kind of determined what the chimera ants look like. And so Melaron is half chameleon, right, Tom?
It's something like that. Yeah, the Ant Queen, this entity, they call it the Ant Queen. It eats living things, and then, like, its young can gain abilities based on what the queen has eaten. And so a lot of them, because eventually the entity consumes, like, humans, come out as humans with superpowers. And I think he's part chameleon. He's got some sort of reptile that lets him be stealthy. The ant storyline is, like, one of the more memorable storylines, because there's just so many potential ideas for what a chimera ant could be.
I find it to be, like, the whole reason you should watch Hunter.
I mean,
get to that. Yeah. But yeah, his special Nen ability is that he can turn invisible and mask his presence. You know, he gets to turn invisible, so that's definition of sneaky. Also, he sneaks around their little home, and he decides to turn against the chimera ants who are, like, actively eating people. And he, like, sneaks around and does things for going in the gang. But I then chose a funny one, and I chose Tuxedo Mask from Sailor Moon. This man shows up just in the most random of places. Like, they're all about to die, and he's like, Sailor Moon, just get good. And then, like, he crawls back up into the ceiling or something. He's never there long. He throws shit at her, tells her to just, like, do better, and then runs away. And you don't know where he came from. You don't know where he went. He's in and out. So,
Sailor Moon, get good.
Yeah, just.
Is he sneaky, or is Usagi just not observant?
No, it's not that he's not observant. It's just like, so I can hear clear from Kate that she knows who Sailor Moon, but does everybody else?
Yes, I'm aware.
Okay, alright, yeah. He's like the world's worst boyfriend, and then, like, the world's worst boyfriend superhero.
He literally does nothing to help.
Absolutely. Yeah, like, everybody, like, unfortunately Sailor Moon gets, like, fairly depressing after a while, but, like, everybody is dying. All of her friends, they're all dead. And Tuxedo Mask is like, just get good. And then he probably dies. Like, it's just... And he pops out of nowhere, throws a rose at her, and then just, like, runs away.
The best summary I can think of for Tuxedo Mask is the meme that came out of Sailor Moon, which is him saying, "My work here is done." And then Sailor Moon just looks at him and says, "But you didn't do anything." And in the time she has said that, he's already like waved his cape and is walking away.
Yes. That is...
Yeah.
Jordan, who were your alternates?
So my top 2 alternates were also other Legion of Superhero members. So Chameleon Girl and Invisible Kid. I also toyed with the idea of maybe Mr. Miracle as a sneaky person, but he's more of a get himself out of things
He
person.
can be sneaky. He was able to successfully sneak off of Apocalypse as a kid.
Right. And then Domino, because everything always goes her way. Because her power is that she just has good luck. Or perfect luck.
That's a good one. All right, Tom?
My alternates... Let's see, alternates for sneaks. I don't think I had many alternates for sneaky characters. I think, honestly, what I did have, though, was an alternate for Paranormal. My main alternate for Paranormal is a girl named...
Did I skip you for a Paranormal alternate?
Yeah.
I'm
fine.
sorry.
No, you're fine. I don't have an alternate stealth, so it works.
Okay.
Lady named Bernice. She is a supporting character from Harrow County, which is a series by Cullen Bunn. And to make a long story short, Bernice is not the main character. She is probably the supporting protagonist, and she meets a witch who is able to trap all of these spirits and stuff and learns hedge magic. And she is probably one of the most trustworthy paranormal people in that entire series, because either you have people who are good-natured but don't know what they're doing, or you have people who are just evil. So, like, that's normally what you get. And then you get one person who knows hedge magic and is a good person. And, yeah, so that's why Bernice is my pick for Paranormal as an alternate. Also, she's had to deal with so much drama from everybody else. Like, this team, it would not even faze her.
Okay, and I'm sorry I skipped you. Next time, interrupt me, okay? So for my muscle person, I went with Colossus, who is another X-Men. You know, I feel like subconsciously I went with a lot of X-Men because I'm like, they're going to be very cohesive because they already work together. But Colossus has biceps literally made of steel. And I feel like he's just a very chonky boy. So Colossus is going on my team.
Piotr is literally already a giant guy, and people called him Colossus because of how tall he was. And then when he uses his powers to become made of an organic metal-like substance, he gets even taller, which is crazy. He just keeps getting bigger, even though he already was huge. If you're looking for a guy who's the muscle, he's literally made out of metal and like 8 feet tall. So if you're familiar at all with the superhero trope of what's called the fastball special, where one character throws another character at the problem, he is the part of the origination of the fastball special. He was this huge guy, and Wolverine, in the comics at least, is famously extremely short. Part of the joke of why he's called the Wolverine is because he's small, hairy, and angry. So he would physically just pick up Wolverine and throw him like a baseball pitch at people. Piotr Rasputin is probably, if you want a muscle in the Marvel Universe, he's probably one of your best bets.
Was he the big metal guy in Deadpool?
Yes, that's the big metal guy in Deadpool.
I love him. That's fantastic. He gets a spot on my team.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Kirsten, who is your muscle?
So I had the obvious answer since I'm doing anime and manga, but I don't think it would be good for this team.
Who is the obvious answer?
I want to save it for my alternates.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
So I'm going to pick Mash from Mashal. He is the best boy. He's just... The whole show is like, what if Harry Potter had no magic, was dumb, and like the buffest guy you know?
What is this show?
Mashal, Mashle.
I was going to say, that just also explains the entire plot of My Hero Academia.
Don't you dare say anything about that show. I love that show.
Yeah, but isn't that Midoriya from My Hero Academia?
He is not a himbo.
He is not a himbo. He's just a sweet baby boy.
He's not a himbo. He's dumb, but he's not a himbo. That's different. But he is buff as hell.
Hard. Midoriya?
Yeah. Have you seen what he can bench press?
I mean, he's not. He can. Okay, we'll talk about this later. Go ahead.
Ash has no power. He gets sent to this magic school in order, like, he'll do the stupidest shit to make people think he has magic, and really he's just like running or like punching shit. So at one point they had to prove that they could ride a broom. So first, Harry Potter style, you've got to like get the broom to come to your hand. Couldn't do it. So he just steps on the ground hard enough to like have the broom come up into his hand, and everybody's like, oh shit, earthquake. And then he clearly can't fly. So everybody lifts off to go fly. He not only like jumps into the air above the clouds, he then, this is how it's described in the anime, he then kicks his legs so fast while he's up in the air that it creates like a propeller effect. And he can steer himself forward, backward, side to side, while appearing to be riding a broom.
I feel like I'm going to check out this anime when we're done.
Oh, you 100% should. It's a nice thing to like put on in the background and just like periodically be like, fuck is happening? Because it's just, at one point he's like, I use muscle magic, and people are like, I don't think that's a thing. And it's just him punching things.
That's a great pick. And I also feel like he would work well in a team.
Yeah, no, he would be like, so all these people are like super smart, super with it. You gotta have like the one puppy of the team, right? Like the one like
Absolutely
puppy character, and that's him. He just likes cream puffs, nothing else. He has no thoughts, only cream puffs.
Just don't leave him alone with Mau Mau.
I could see her just like slipping him something to see what it does, and him just being like,
Yeah, it's not gonna hurt him. Like, this kid is like canonically like almost One Punch Man. Like,
yeah. So she would be experimenting on him the entire time, and he would let.
she would probably ask him like, "Can you lift up this building?" And he would do it, just to like see the limits of human strength or whatnot. You know?
Uh-huh. Yeah, she's his black
Yeah.
cat.
Okay, Jordan, who is your muscle?
Okay, so y'all know how I love dinosaurs.
Oh, boy.
So we're going with Devil Dinosaur. And he is part of a team with Moon Girl, so we're not including Moon Girl in this, so he might be a little bit sad. So he is from he is from Dinosaur World, and he is a giant red dinosaur. And I'm familiar with him in the Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur stories. So he gets transported from his world, teams up with Moon Girl, who is a scientist, and he protects her and is basically her muscle, just going, no one's going to mess with my girl. And it's adorable. So he's intelligent too. So it's described as human intelligence. So he can talk with her. They can have like, not talk, but they understand each other well enough to, he knows what's going on and is actually like protecting her. So it's cute. And I get a dinosaur on my team.
Right, I love that you were the one to bring like a large dinosaur to your team. I'm sure they're going to be happy. Tom, your muscle.
There is a team book where Devil Dinosaur is part of the team. He's also on the team with like 2 lobsters. And I think at one point he steps on one of the lobsters, and so the other lobster swears revenge and is like, trying to constantly assassinate him, but it's just a regular lobster against a T-Rex. So it goes exactly as well as you think, and it's actually very funny. It's called Fallen Angels, I believe. That's the name of the comic. But my muscle is, well, okay. You know how I picked 2 people to be my lead detective? I kind of picked 3 people, you could say, maybe.
Okay.
Well, they're not really 3 people. They're one person, but they were made from 3 people. My muscle is the Frankenstein mobster. From Frankenstein Mobster. And his main personality is Terry Todd. Basically some mad scientist who was trying to make a Frankenstein was like, I bet you if I combine the brains of 3 people, they could get them to share knowledge. So he got 2 mobsters who died and a cop, and the cop was Terry Todd. So that way, the mobsters would get info about police stuff, but also he'd be this mindless Hulk that could be controlled for the most of the time. So the mad scientist creates the Frankenstein mobster. You could call him a made man. And Frankenstein Mobster is a great comic. It's done by, I believe, Mark Wheatley drew it and wrote it. And it's a great, like, one-off story where everything is kind of... The best way I could describe it is, it's what if Halloween Town had a film noir storyline?
Oh.
Everything is monsters. It's great. I love it. It's wonderful. And it's so obscure, there's no Wikipedia page for this book. I got it because I saw the cover and the pun and was like, yes, I have to read this. And it turned out to be really good, and there's all sorts of cool art and fun stuff, and a lot of it is visually a send-up to EC Comics, but it's this very fun kind of adventure story, and more people should find Frankenstein Mobster. I believe he did one time have a crossover with Vampirella, but I don't think it was written by Mark Wheatley. If it was, then I didn't find it under stuff written by him. But yeah, no, Frankenstein Mobster is a great series, and he's basically just what if the Frankenstein monster was in a like sport coat and had a Tommy gun, and he is just absolutely great. And he's had to work on teams before because the parts of him that are Terry had to work on a police force, and the parts of him that were other people had to work in organized crime. So you could say he has 3 times the amount of experience working on a team as everybody else.
That is very true. What a unique perspective, because they would all have to work together in order to like do their jobs.
And yes, that is a plot point. Basically, at a certain point, he starts, his morality is shifting based on who's in the driver's seat.
Fascinating. That sounds like a very interesting... I think it's really funny that it doesn't have a Wikipedia page, but it sounds fantastic.
Oh, it's great. I absolutely love that book. More people should see it. The only person I know who's ever acknowledged its existence is that guy Linkara, who mentioned it in his like Halloween special, where he's like talking about different Halloween comic books and stuff.
Okay. My alternates for my muscle were, I'll be honest, they're pretty basic. I had She-Hulk, who is from Marvel, and I just thought that she was pretty cool, and she's like a big buff lady, so that would be awesome to have on my team. And also the Thing from the Fantastic Four, because I always liked, so I watched the first 2 Fantastic Four, the ones with Chris Evans and like Jessica Alba and everything, and I liked the Thing a lot as like a person, as a character, and I just thought that he would be a really nice addition, as well as being like a big bulky dude. Kirsten, who were your alternates? Who was the one that you were like the person we were all thinking of?
Goku.
Oh, you're right.
Like
you're
if I'm doing anime, the strongest person is Goku.
You're right.
Goku also abandons everybody quite frequently and is a terrible father, so I don't want him anywhere.
I was going to say, including his son.
Right. So I don't want him on my team for that reason.
Goku had to have his son raised by Piccolo.
Also the best boy.
Piccolo?
Yeah, he's so cute. He's like, Gohan, I hate you, but also I'm going to take care of you and provide for you and be a better father than Goku ever was.
Isn't Piccolo the green guy?
Yes.
Yes, he was the villain of the first arc.
Okay, that's what I was like, I think he's the villain.
He gets better.
Okay. All right. Go on. I apologize.
Okay. And then we have Andy from Undead Unluck. Andy's is one of the main characters. So he is undead. He's been alive for who knows how long, because he also has trouble with memory issues because he just has so many memories. So Andy frequently gets dismembered and beheaded and just die. But he's not dying. So his body parts grow back kind of like a lizard, and he just keeps regenerating over and over and over again. Also, he's pretty strong. And then he's got this like blade or card stuck in his forehead because it's to prevent like his quote unquote evil side coming out. And that evil side is like almost able to destroy the universe. Like, he's super strong. So Andy was an option. Problem with that, I don't know. Andy's a lot, and I think he would be too chaotic to the point of endangering the group. So,
Oh no.
that's why I said no to that. I also thought of Meliodas from Seven Deadly Sins, which he's, a super strong demon prince.
He's super strong, but he would have an HR violation by end of the...
That's the problem. I love and respect Mao Mao so much that not only would she have to murder him, find a way, just the most painful poison possible. But, he also would harass the hot granny. So, I don't like that, so he can't join.
Here's the thing. The thing about Meliodas is you can end that sentence just with he could harass, or he would harass, and that's it.
Right.
You just ended the sentence.
He is too molesty. Just too much. There was never a good amount, but he went too much. Then I also thought of Meruem from Hunter x Hunter. Meruem is the king of the Chimera ants. So he's the pinnacle of evolution itself. And so he almost takes over the world and enslaves all the humans, except in killing the second strongest character in the entire series. The second character basically exploded this poison bomb at him, which causes him and everybody he touches to die. So, also he was the villain. But, he got better.
You can't keep picking villains and be like, they got better.
He did.
That's a lot of anime, though.
It was so sad. I cried when he died. Then I also thought of Alucard from Hellsing, simply because he gets he's pretty much unkillable. He has a bunch of souls in him. He's keeps absorbing more power. He's a vampire. He's just cannot be killed. It's great. Also, the abridged version is completely worth it. You don't even have to see the original. The abridged would be fine. I also wanted to bring in the argument for Sailor Moon. Not in her, the state that we see her throughout the series, but as, Neo Queen Serenity, because she has, the power of the universe. And, she could use it for evil and, destroy everybody, but Goku would want to try to beat her, is how I feel about that. But that's an argument that the weebs have. It's a huge thing. Who's stronger, Goku or Sailor Moon?
I didn't realize that was an argument.
It is.
I see. Jordan, who is your muscle?
So, Kirsten, you didn't mention Guildhearts from Fairy Tail. They literally had to...
Oh, you're right!
Walking through it would destroy
it!
So I had a problem with muscle because I realized a lot of what I don't read about a lot of strong people, or at least I didn't recognize it. But I did have Big Barda as my other muscle person.
Who is Big Barda?
So she is the wife of Mr. Miracle. So she also escaped with him. She was introduced in the 70s, raised as a member of the New Gods, and she was trained as a warrior. And she was the leader of the Female Furies.
Hmm.
So
good for her.
When Mr. Miracle kept escaping from the planet Apocalypse to go to a better life, the leader of the King's Guard, the Furies, Big Barda, kept going after him and catching him, and they eventually both fell in love and escaped together.
Oh.
Also, she was heavily based on her dynamic with Scott, her husband, was heavily based on Jack Kirby and his relationship with his wife Roz.
That's really cute.
Yes, my muscle alternate is, I name dropped him earlier. His name's Mark Grayson. He is Invincible from Invincible. He is a Viltrumite human hybrid who lived on Earth. He was told that his father was actually the advanced scout for an invasion fleet, and he fought to save everybody, and even helped change his father's mind and brought out the good in him. And yeah, basically Mark is Mark is my like he okay, so you pick Goku, but like Mark is me doing the Goku thing, but yeah, no, he's extremely powerful, but notably, basically, it's like saying Superman is my muscle because he is the Boy Scout. He's the blue and yellow Boy Scout instead of the blue and red Boy Scout, but he is very much like in the archetype of Superman. And it took him a while, but eventually he learned how to work on a team. But he's also very hot-headed and has a lot of issues with different people. He grows, he develops, and he learns how to work with people. And we don't talk about what happened to Las Vegas. If you read the comics, you know. But yeah, Mark Grayson is my alternate for Muscle because, you know, he is probably the strongest one we could get.
All right, great. So for this last category, we are doing science person. And again, I'll say as like a caveat, it does probably overlap with tech person. We're not going to be like too into the nitty gritty about it. My science person, I just realized, oh, actually, maybe I'll do a different one. No, I'll do this one. Okay. It's Beast from the X-Men. He is also known as Hank McCoy. He is a world-renowned biochemist. He earned his PhDs in biophysics and genetics, and he also acts as the X-Men medic and doctor. So I thought that was a really good overlap of like, he's, you know, into the biophysics of it all and like into like biology, but then also acts as like a healer or a medic or a doctor if the team needs one. So like can administer like first aid or, you know, help out in that way. So what do we think?
I mean, he's one of the first X-Men in the original team that stayed on. Well, he didn't stay on. He joined the Avengers and then came back.
I just realized more than half this team is X-Men. I did not plan that.
Yeah? Hey, listen. We'll have some X-Men to talk about on the podcast, and then you get to revisit it.
That's a good idea, because then I can be like, hey, I remember that from my little research. Okay, Kirsten, who is your science person?
Mine's gonna be Kisuke Uehara from Bleach. He was the commander for basically like the science division of the Soul Society. So most of the things, inventions, and some of the equipment they use in the Soul Society was things that he had created and designed. He's also like known for like he does chemistry and he does engineering and he also has to know some biology because he's like constantly making people like level up. And he knows the medical skills and basically like he just knows all the sciences. But also he's another like very chill person. Could kill you, but probably it's too much work. So I think he brings a chillness.
That's a great choice. He sounds very smart. And you keep talking about, like, chillness. I think your team is fairly chill. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would say that. Like, chill until it's not. That's the whole vibe.
Yeah. Or maybe, like, once somebody pops off, it's, like, going to be easy to kind of, like, chill them out.
Yes.
Jordan, your turn.
Okay, so I went with Brainiac 5. Again, another legion of superheroes. So I've talked about a lot of them. Only Projectra is the only one who's actually on my team. And in one of the iterations, they don't necessarily get along. But so I mentioned to y'all before that in so the 3-boot is how I was introduced to the Legion of Superheroes. I've read the other run, but a lot of like my first impressions of the characters came from that. And in that one, he and Dream Girl are a couple. This is the one where I mentioned where she, so spoilers for the 3-boot, especially for this, what I'm about to talk about in relation to Dream Girl and Brainiac 5. She basically predicts her own death and just looks at him and goes, I am so sorry, you're going to be so sad very soon.
Oh my god.
And but part of when Projectra gets upset that her entire planet is destroyed and she blames the Legion, Dream Girl gets caught in the crossfire. And so she's not directly responsible, but she ends up dying. And part of that is I'm saying that Brainiac is my science person because there are a couple different timelines where he dabbles in necromancy. Not in like a magic sort, but in this one, he he manages to capture Dream Girl's consciousness and transfers it into a clone body for her. And then he also, in another run, is part of the efforts to resurrect Bart Allen and Superboy. And there was another, so he has a habit of, he works in the lab, he does a lot of experimentation. He also in a couple different iterations, he's the creator of the Legion's Ring, which gives every member the ability to fly, whether or not they have it on their own. He's also created a super computer called Computo, which might have attempted to take over the world at one point, but I mean...
It's Brainiac, that's a family tradition.
Yeah, so he is a descendant of Brainiac, the supervillain, and I think it's the original run, is where he joins the Legion of Superheroes to go, hey, I want to make up for my ancestor. But he's also a 12th level intelligence on a planet that is mostly 8th level intelligence people. So, yeah.
All right. I'm familiar with wasn't Brainiac part, like, the Teen Titans fought him, right? Maybe.
The original Brainiac is a supervillain that's a recurring Superman villain where he's this, like, supercomputer intelligence that, like, analyzes data and then digitizes things and destroys whatever he analyzed. This Brainiac is, like, a new iteration that broke good.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't there a Brainiac that is just, like, literally like a brain in a jar?
Oh, so there's another supervillain that the Doom Patrol fights.
That's it.
That's just called the Brain, and he's married to a super intelligent gorilla.
That's right. That was in the Teen Titans, and I was like, this is weird.
But Beast Boy was originally part of the Doom Patrol before he joined the Teen Titans, which is how they came into the Teen Titans. I'm assuming the TV show is what you're referencing?
Yes, it is.
You have to read the Doom Patrol comics. They're fantastic. Danny the Street is amazing. Gerard Way at one point was writing it, and it was great.
Yeah, when's the next issue of Gerard Way's run coming out?
Shush.
Tom?
So this guy, I just kind of would love him and Hellboy to hang out. You know, Captain America can come because they do have a lot in common. This guy, he's old. He's been around since the 1800s. He's fought the ghost of Thomas Edison, as well as fought in World War II. He is probably one of the more fun indie heroes that has a lasting impact in the indie comic landscape. And if you've never heard of him, probably have heard of the other thing his creator made, which was 8-Bit Theater. This is Atomic Robo. He is a brilliant mathematician and engineer who is just a robot made by Nikola Tesla in the 1800s. He's great. He does all sorts of stuff. If you want fun, pulp-inspired action that's got a good lighthearted vibe, maybe not always lighthearted, but mostly lighthearted, you go with Atomic Robo. If you want pulp-inspired action that's more serious in tone, you go with Hellboy. And so that's kind of why I would love to see the two of them together, because one is magic, one is technology, but they both have a lot of shared backstory because they're influences. And it'd be very fun to have them cross over. Also, in one of the Atomic Robo comics, I think he literally has a picture of Hellboy hanging on the wall. So, like, in that comic, even though he never officially appears, they're good enough friends for Atomic Robo to have a picture of Hellboy on the wall.
Aww.
And my backup for this is Hans Zarkov. People probably aren't going to remember him unless you're a big fan of Queen, because he's the scientist from Flash Gordon. In the original comics, I swear, like, Flash and his friend discover that Zarkov has been observing a planet that's about to collide with Earth, and Zarkov just pulls out a gun and forces them onto his spaceship because he doesn't want people getting out, or the word getting out that he has a spaceship. And then they get stuck on the planet Mongo as they have to stop it from colliding with Earth and beat, the bad guys. And then Zarkov becomes a good guy. But it's just like, yeah, again, if I want to pull out classic archetypical comic characters, you go with something like Hans Zarkov, who is the science guy for Flash Gordon.
Wow. Okay, so some deep pulls there.
Yes. I want to say first Flash Gordon was like the 30s. It was way before Batman. It was like 1934, I want to say.
All right. So my backup for the science person, I had fun with the science person. The other one that I was like really considering, like right up until the last minute, was Honey Lemon, who was in like the Marvel comics, and she was also probably best known from Big Hero 6. And Honey Lemon is a brilliant scientist. She's also trained in martial arts, and she was so smart. She developed small wormholes, which grants her access to like an infinite number of worlds and dimensions. Also, I just think that she's adorable, and like she would be such a like an asset to a team because she has that kind of like team personality, you know, very positive, very upbeat, very like, you know, into helping other people. And then this other one that I found was Steel, who was a DC character, who was a genius engineer and inventor. But then ultimately, like, I found kind of more interesting characters that I wanted to go with. Kirsten, who were your alternates?
So I also put Ritsuko for this one as well. The blonde lady you don't like from Evangelion.
Yeah, I don't believe that she is a hero. She is not a hero.
Because, like, well, I think of her doing more tech things. She also has to, like, work on the Avas, which are just, like, big people. Like, it's just, an Ava is just a living thing. So, in a way, you gotta be good at biology for that.
I feel like you're reaching here.
I think Ritsuko counts.
I mean, I think that my biases are getting in the way because I would not want Ritsuko around any other person that I cared about.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. That's because they're probably going to die or get turned into Tang.
Right. Like, they're going to get turned into Tang, or their soul is going to get put in a mech.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, but you're okay with that?
I mean, sometimes you gotta have other people surrounding your science person to make it a balanced team. Like, I would need, like, all golden retrievers on this team, and then Ritsuko. And that might not even be enough.
Also, as a side note, I just wanted to mention this about Honey Lemon. She is a scientist who figured out how to create, using science, a purse with hammer space, where it's just a purse where she can reach in and pull out giant things. So that was literally an invention she has, which is, I just kind of find that fun.
Like Mary Poppins.
Yes.
She has a bag of holding.
Yeah, she has an actual in-universe bag of holding.
Maybe I should. No, okay, it's done. It's done.
Yeah.
You're making me want to change to Honey Lemon.
No, you're good. You're good. She is good.
Beast is good too.
You pick something. Yeah. Beast is very good.
Okay, no, we're gonna stick with Beast. Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Kirsten.
So my other ones were Frankenstein from Soul Eater. Yeah, he's like supposed to be like the smartest person there, and also one of the more powerful ones. And he has a giant screw going through his head.
I was going to say, yeah, he can hang out with Frankenfran.
Yeah.
I feel like he and Mau Mau would get along.
Yes. Yeah. Well, so the problem is that he is like super sadistic. Like he'll like creepily want to experiment on you, but then be totally fine, just back and forth. So I think with Mau Mau, that might like bring out the worst in her, as in she would want to also experiment on people and things, which I don't think we need. So
I said they would get along, not that it'd be a good idea.
And then I also picked Hanzo. She's from Attack on Titan. She's the character that like studies the Titans and like does like scientific experiments on them to try to figure out like what their weaknesses are, and she's just like the expert on the Titans. So from a biological standpoint, she'd be good.
I think those are pretty solid picks. Jordan?
So, I had Shuri from Black Panther.
Of course.
Moon Girl from Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. And Riri Williams or Ironheart. But all three of them had recently been in either movies or had their own TV show. So I went with Brainiac 5 for someone who wasn't in as much and hadn't been in anything recently, I don't believe.
Last time I know he was in Supergirl.
Oh, Supergirl, yeah. But that's been canceled for a while.
Yeah, I had never heard of Brainiac, so I think we got like a really good mix of kind of like well-known people and then people that might not be as well-known. Before we say goodbye, I'm going to recap our teams. For my team, I have as my lead detective Misty Knight. My tech expert is Forge. My paranormal expert is Jericho. My sneak is Forget Me Not. My muscle is Colossus. And my science person is Beast. Tom has for his lead detective Sam and Max. His tech expert is Zach Thompson, also known as Tech Jacket. His paranormal expert is Hellboy. His sneak is The Shadow. His muscle is the Frankenstein Mobster. And his science person is Atomic Robo. Jordan's team, her lead detective is Renee Montoya. Her tech expert is Cubit. Her paranormal expert is Zelma Stanton. Sneak is Princess Projectra. The muscle is Devil Dinosaur. Science person is Brainiac 5. And for Kirsten, her lead detective is Mau Mau from Apothecary Diaries. Tech expert is Nico from Undead Unluck. The paranormal experts are Seiko Ayase and Turbo Granny. Her sneak is Killua Zoldyck from Hunter x Hunter. Her muscle is Mash from Mashal. And her science person is Kisuke Urahara from Bleach. I think those are some pretty awesome teams and would be very interested to see those team dynamics play out. Okay, do we have any other things we want to say, or should I wrap us up? Okay. Thank you for joining us on Bite Me Fanboy, a comics podcast. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your fellow comic fans. We will see you next time. Bye.